Tell us about Elaine. Tell us a little bit about Elaine. How did you guys meet? How'd that go? Because you guys ended up both having families coming together, and you made the one. And so, how did that go? What was some of the
Uh,
challenges?
I was teaching dancing in a bar.
Nice, nice. As one does.
So there's a lot of stuff with you, Vince. I'm sure a lot of history with him.
You call me old?
Not trying to, in a gentle way. I don't even know where to start with you. Why don't you just take us all the way back to little child Vince and how you kind of grew up? Just let us get to know some of your past, because we know the now Vince, and I think the first time we met you was in, uh, or one of the first times like I got to know you was during like renovations. Like you came and help a lot with renovations, and that's kind of one of the ways that I got to know you a little bit and hear some stories from you and stuff. But
Well, you and I did that electrical up.
yeah, that's right. So there's been a lot of stuff that you've helped with at the church, but I think people would like to hear some of your backstory even before coming to Grace Bible Fellowship. So why don't we start there?
Okay, right now.
Yeah, wherever you want to start.
Okay, I grew up in a real small town in Kansas, and there wasn't much to do, so we devised things to do that probably were on the bad list. and
On the naughty list.
uh, I moved to Denver after I got out of the army, and the army didn't help. That's where I was introduced to drugs,
Mm,
and in 1969 I got uh, saved. I accepted Jesus as my savior, and uh,
Awesome.
was that at a church or just a
yes, it was
friend
at
or
a little non-denominational church in
mm,
on South Federal,
mm,
and I worked with a Christian, and he was always witnessing to me, and asked me to come on Sunday or whatever. I think it was Sunday, but I went. They were having church every night that week, and I never heard of a revival.
Yeah,
mm.
good old fashioned revival.
Yeah, and I was stoned when I went, and it was the weirdest thing I ever seen. But God was like in one end of a tube, and my head was in the other end of the tube, and I couldn't turn my head.
Mm.
And it was like this preacher was really knew everything about me,
Oh wow.
Mm.
and I can remember crying a bunch and
Yeah.
walking up, like knelt before him right in the middle of the service,
Well.
and I asked him for help.
Mm.
And uh, I got saved and stuck or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, I grew.
Yeah.
Uh, my first kid was born without hip sockets, and he had a crooked spine,
Mm.
and something was wrong with the development of the sutures in his head. And there was a bunch of us kids that got saved. I'll call us kids because that was a long time ago.
Fair. That's
uh,
fair.
we would have prayer day on weekend, and we prayed for my son, and somebody gave us the name of this orthopedic doctor, and without operation, my son grew up, and he's on the border patrol right now, and he was running almost a little under 4 minute mile back then,
Wow.
and they told us he had never walked.
How does that affect
Pardon me?
how does that affect somebody, like, having no hip sockets? Like
Well, they said the cartilage and everything was there, but it was flat, and the balls on his leg come out of the end of the bone instead of the side,
hmm,
and there was no place for him to go, so they twisted his legs around and cast him that way.
Wow.
ooh,
And I can remember we only got to wash him down there like every 2 weeks, and he'd scream for a couple days.
hmm,
But that was what kept me off the drugs. I
mm.
mean, I thought I did that. Anyway, I joined Riverside Baptist Church way back then, and I went to them till I moved to Kansas. And in Kansas, I was teaching Sunday school and active in a Goodland Bible Church. And my wife run off, and the church asked me to leave,
Oh wow.
Mm,
so because I might deceive their kids.
mm,
And so I moved back to Denver, brought my kids because I could make good money up here. And I was active in Riverside, and then I ended up moving up north. And then one day I met this guy at a Starbucks,
mhm,
and he said something, and I said something about the Lord would come by then, and Jason said something else about it, and I said, "You're a Christian?" And he goes, "Yeah." So I came to church with him,
mhm.
and that was, I don't know, 5 6 years ago, maybe 7.
Yep,
Yeah.
I think so. Right about
And
that.
I was loving it for, say, the first 4, and then I got sick and had some heart problems and some strokes and uh, other things. And now I'm back. I'm doing pretty good. I,
Looking pretty good too.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hey,
anyway, uh, I'm glad to be going again. And
Yeah, we're glad you're back.
yeah, Vince, can I ask you some further question? Because you kind of passed over this, but I think it's a pretty cool part of the story. Not cool in the sense of how you managed things. You had mentioned that your first wife had just taken off. She had left. That left you with your kids,
yes,
and so you're basically a single father
Mm,
raising those kiddos. And uh, I imagine that was a pretty trying time for you. But man, I've met your kiddos, and they're just pretty amazing. So you did a phenomenal job with that. But I imagine was that a tough time for you?
I don't know why I'm crying.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I really had to get involved with my kids because the court in Kansas uh, wouldn't give me custody.
mm,
And the ex-wife, went in and signed papers that she didn't want them and that they were mine.
mm,
Well, it ended up they gave me temporary custody, and if anything happened, if the kids did something or whatever, they were going to put them in a foster home. And I was already a Christian, so I thought, "Well, I just got to do something." So I worked with them and I talked to them and I explained every step of the way, and I kept them busy. Uh, we went to judo classes together. Uh, the boys rodeoed in the summer,
Mm.
and I got some horses and spent a lot of time with them. And uh, we went to church and all that, and we did really good. I had a little trouble with my oldest son uh, about the time that he was a junior in high school. He went out with some kids, and they were all good kids, but they decided to put potatoes up tailpipes.
Oh.
And uh, they saw a car, and there was these neat sunglasses in it, and it wasn't locked, so they took the sunglasses.
Mm.
And the kid that was the main instigator and everything, they caught him, and then he told them who the rest of the guys were.
A snitch.
And
Nobody likes a snitch.
the cops were out at my house wanting to uh, arrest him,
Mm.
and him and his friend was uh, hiding in the barn. I was leasing a place that had a barn, and anyway, I told the cop, I says, "I'll stay in here, and you can go out there and get him." And I says, "I want you to handcuff him and chain him to the floor of the car,
Nice.
and take him to the jail and keep him overnight."
Nice. Nice.
And I never had any more trouble.
That would do it.
I felt bad, but if what I hadn't done already wasn't enough, I needed something else.
Yeah.
Mm.
And uh, he joined the Marine Corps, and uh, I was scared to death that something was going to happen to him over in Iraq.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up coming home decorated. And my youngest boy went to the army 2 years later, and uh, was assigned to the Secret Service.
Wow.
Met the president. He was in EOD.
Yeah. EOD. Yeah.
That's what he was trained in and was doing. Only he was assigned, and he would do sweeps, make sure there was no bombs before the president went into a building.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
And it really feels good to have. Oh, I don't want to say pride, but I do have pride in
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
and I'm so thankful to God that it turned out that way.
Yeah.
And I got married, and had she had a daughter, and she became a Christian after about a year, and he's doing well.
That's good.
Make
Well, I wanted to bring it up because I knew that you had done a great job with them, and I knew that they are some good boys. Well, the good boys just don't happen most of the time, and so that means that you had a lot of play in that to help them to get to that place. And that's a big thing to ask um, as the sole provider of them, and then spending all that time. I think it's a good lesson of what dads today can and really should do.
Hmm.
and raising their kids, whether boy or girl. But with your boys, I mean, both of them are just absolutely amazing. And
I
and the
did
one that
that for
would the one
5
that
years.
do what?
I did that for 5 years before I met Elaine.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a good chunk of time, and I think you did a really great job with that. The one that um, was this with worked with EOD with the Secret Service. Did they? What presidents were they? Did they?
Uh, I think it was Clinton and Bush.
Okay,
Hmm.
I was curious about that.
That's cool.
I interestingly enough, well, I do have another question, but I'll wait a moment to talk about that. But tell us about Elaine. Tell us a little bit about Elaine. How did you guys meet? How'd that go? Because you guys ended up both having families coming together, and you made the one. And so, how did that go? What was some of the
Well,
challenges?
I was teaching dancing in a bar.
Nice, nice. As one
Well,
does.
it was because they had a band and
Yeah.
a dance floor, but
That's cool.
she worked there, and I was always joking around with her, and she had the most pleasant smile I ever had
Mhm.
seen. And we started dating and got married, and my youngest boy absolutely loved her, and he had a problem a little bit with no mama, and she filled the shoes just perfect.
Elaine is very sweet. You said something in passing. You were teaching dance.
Yeah.
Tell us, please, a little bit about that, because that's one of the things that I think that I think people would be very surprised by you, Vince. That was something that I've got to, over the years, just getting to know you. I remember just different times you would say things like that, almost nonchalantly, just not no big deal, no whatever, but just things that were you wouldn't expect. Like I did, and then I remember because I mean I'm not going to take the thunder from you, but I remember, I mean you were really good. Can you maybe share just briefly about that?
Oh, my boys and I started a band, and
That's another thing.
I needed equipment, and so I taught dancing, and they paid me in equipment,
Oh wow,
Hmm.
and I did that for about 2 years after we were married. But she helped me for a year before, I suppose.
oh wow.
Hmm. What kind of dancing did you teach?
It's country western, but it's actually ballroom
Hmm.
with just the differences, the hands and style, sort of. But it was ballroom steps.
See, that
And
is
when I
just
was
that's just awesome.
a little kid, my mom made me take dancing. She
Oh,
taught me how to sew, she taught me how to cook,
Oh,
and
that ended up coming in very handy with becoming
yeah.
yeah.
a father.
And
Yeah.
my grandma gave me an old
Single
treadle
father.
sewing machine.
Oh, yeah.
And on our first date, Elaine's dress got tore before we went out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I said, well, I'll sew it up at home. And I used that old treadle machine. And
That's awesome.
Just fixed it up right then and
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah.
But then I also taught about 30 years in the evenings sheet metal school one night a week.
Hmm.
Hold on,
Yeah.
before we go to that though, I want to, because maybe I'm mistaken, but I could have sworn that you told me at one point with the dancing that you had won some competition, and I think you were even on TV or
Oh,
something.
yeah, we danced.
Minor
I can't
detail.
remember what it was. It was on TV. Oh, that dance show.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I just don't remember the name of it
The
now.
big
it's
time
in
one?
the old days.
Yeah, it was actually like a huge thing during the day.
They
No,
asked us to dance, and we We did, I think, 2 dances.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it was during the time. I wish I remember the name of it because it wasn't Dancing with the Stars, but it was something that I mean
We gotta
it was
find
really
this.
big, and it
You
was
look for it.
like because they would bring them on. They like bring all these young people on,
Yeah.
but it was select because you had to be really good. But they would bring them all
Well,
on.
he was paid in literal
And it was
musical equipment. I think you'd have to be
well,
pretty good.
not in that one though. That was something separate, right? That was like that.
Well, no, I mean just like him
Okay.
getting paid
Oh,
by
I gotcha.
musical equipment. Probably
it
like, yeah,
was,
this guy's pretty good. They literally just give
like
him equipment for
bandstand,
dancing.
American
Yeah, yeah.
Bandstand or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. American Bandstand.
And it was for a
American
benefit.
Bandstand.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if we could find that with Vince.
That's what I wonder too. Actually, I wonder if we could actually find. I thought that too. I've been wondering about
That's
that.
crazy.
But that's
That's the thing, like you were saying with Vince, there's just so many layers with you, I think, that people don't know. And I think they don't know because you're so humble about
Yes.
everything that you do. Like you don't showboat all these different things that you can do. Like you're incredible with working with metal and even like wood stuff when we were doing stuff out there and like working with wood. You could woodwork, you could work with electrical, you could do sheet metal, you can all these different things that were like, hey Vince, will you be able to do that? I was like, oh yeah, I used to do that for 5 years in the summer for fun, and like I got an award for that, and like what? But I think it's just so many things about Vince that I think people would really like to hear. It's not just all these different things about you. There's so many hidden things that you've done in your life, and I think there's a lot of stories and a lot of wisdom that comes from those things too.
Yeah.
But we're gonna
agree.
try to find the video of you.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
If
to
we can
show.
find it. I,
Did you have a group name
What do you mean, a group name?
or like a name for your dancing thing?
Oh. No, it's just
He's like, there's like the Virtues or the Ventures.
no. It was we were just Vincent Elaine at the Castaways. Yeah, that's where I was teaching, and
Oh, so both of you were on the show.
pardon me.
Both of you were on the show.
Yeah,
Then
she
you
was
and
helping
Elaine.
me then.
that's pretty cool.
I had a good dance partner, but there were some jealousy problems.
See that?
As there
So-
can be, as there can be.
So she was my partner.
Yeah.
I like that's really cool. And you mentioned and so you started going down the path of the sheet metal, working with metal and fabrication, and I mean that's
Well,
something.
before that, can we go
Oh,
to
yeah.
the band
Oh yeah, yeah.
that you started with
yeah.
your kids? Because you said you'd started a band.
Yes,
What was your band name?
a wildfire.
Wildfire.
Nice.
What kind of music did you guys do?
It was
Hard rock?
country, but we did
Okay.
a lot of the 50s, 60s rock.
Oh no.
Oh, nice. Good stuff.
A little Bob Seger.
And what instruments did you play? Because I assume you played more than one.
No, I just played the guitar. My youngest boy played bass, and Kent played drums, and
But you could play bass too, right?
yeah.
Like that's
But
what you
I
started
wasn't
playing
very,
here.
Very good back then. at
You
bass.
learned.
No,
You wouldn't be able to tell up on
I didn't
stage.
really play the bass in a group until I came here.
Hmm.
Or no, it was the last church I went to. They needed a bass player.
Hmm.
And so I learned.
I volunteer.
I took one lesson and from a friend that was a bass player, and played bass there for several years. And then it went kaput. The church did, and
Hmm.
I went back to playing guitar here for a while, and then I started playing bass here.
Yeah, I remember that, and once again, just in passing, I took one bass lesson, and he gets it. Like that's pretty cool. I don't care how many lessons I would take with anything like instruments on, I would not be able to get it. So it's really cool that you're able to do that. And you're right. I remember you started when you started here at church, helping out, and playing bass, and then you ended up teaching Joe, our son, and now
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe is a regular part of the rotation as far as the bass players go. And Joe, by the way, has taught several people. So your legacy continues on
Mhm.
from that one lesson into probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 different people now. So pretty cool.
That's how 2 Timothy 2 is supposed to go.
That's right. That's right.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right. Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, older men teaching the younger men.
Yeah.
I think 100%. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree
It's
with you.
3 generations
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I
of
think
teaching.
Yeah.
I think that's really good.
So where did you guys play your bands at? Just like small bars and stuff, or?
No, we played weddings like that place. I think it's out Bromley. There's a county building way out there, little place, and people would book it for weddings.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Yeah.
We played that and played a couple of hotels that had a dance floor and stuff that people. But wherever the people that we knew were getting married, that's what we'd do.
Cool.
That's cool.
And I don't think we played any big things. We played at Jordanelli's once.
Mm-hmm.
That was down on Main Street.
That's pretty cool.
And we did stuff like that. But,
How long did you guys do that for?
oh, golly. Probably 2-3 years.
Oh.
Oh, and we played for, I forget what county it was, their fair.
Oh.
Hmm.
Nice.
That's cool.
Where was it? Can't think of the name of the town, but right up in the corner.
Okay.
Started with S. Sterling?
Oh, yeah.
Sterling.
Yeah, that county.
Yeah,
Wow.
I forget what the county is, but that's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Usually counties they bring in bigger acts. And
Well, I didn't see any big acts there, but
you were the big act. Come on, Vince. That's the humility we're talking about.
anyway, we never made any money at it.
Hmm. I'm sure it was a lot of fun though.
Yeah. Well, and it meant something to them.
So
And I
then,
made my own guitar out of stainless steel.
oh yeah, I remember that. You brought that one to church too.
That was actually really cool.
So that gets into your kind of sheet metal working type stuff, and I think you were gonna ask something about
Fabrication.
that.
Yeah, because you I've seen that guitar. Then you had that picture that you showed me that it was, I want to say, I may be wrong about this, but it seems like the picture was of a Millennium Falcon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, at the school.
Yeah, at the
Yeah,
school.
I taught a class, and they made that for the fair, and it, or not the fair, the parade in
Nice.
Denver,
Oh yeah,
and it won first.
I believe it. That's an amazing. I mean, it looks just like the Millennium Falcon. I mean, it's fabricated out of metal. Like these guys. I mean, these like Vince is so good that it's like artistic work that they make this metal. Like you wouldn't expect that.
It's pretty big too. It's like 6 foot, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like a pretty big, good
it
size
was
thing.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
I
super
got
cool.
pictures on my phone.
Yeah, you have to give those to me so we can put them up
we'll
on
put
in the
that-
video.
Yeah, we'll put that
people
on
can
when we
see
do the
them.
video. People will be able to see what they're talking about.
That and your guitar.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think that would be a
I
great
got
idea.
that on my phone.
But yeah, that's crazy that you're able to not only teach them like how to fabricate all this metal and weld and stuff, but that they're able to make it into something that's recognizable. Like putting in like just like the labor of it, like teaching the labor, like that's how they do that. That's, one thing, but teaching them like the artistic style too to be able to make something like that and
Yeah, the
envision something like
techniques
that and put it together. That's pretty impressive.
and I've had a lot of those kids that I taught, send me Christmas cards and
Mm,
say thanks for
yeah.
the time.
I think that speaks of your character and speaks of um, your care and love for people. Because people typically, especially if you're talking going to just some school, it doesn't matter if it's a college or traditional college or if it's a trade school. You go do your classes, you go do those things, and most folks, not everybody, but most folks just don't make connections with their professors. Which that's the other thing, we could call him Professor Vince. Uh, but but the very fact that these students uh, who went through your class connected so well with you, that speaks of your love
Yeah.
and care for them and wanting to help them succeed, that they would even send you Christmas cards to this day. And what another thing that I'd like to just mention, because again, since you're so humble, you don't toot your own horn, but I know that you are such an asset to the schools that they kept trying to get you to go on for another year, another year, another year, and because you were so unique in what you taught and how you taught. In fact, if I remember right, you ended up coming up with continued curriculum for the schools because they didn't even have that, and they were trying to get you to just pour into other guys to carry the banner on to even keep the trade going in some of these areas. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
Yeah, I retired 2 times from school teaching, and I was off a few years, and, they asked me, "Please come back. We have to teach a class on finances because the apprentices are getting a year into the program, and then they can't afford
Mm,
because they bought new cars and everything, and they have to not do the apprenticeship." And so I wrote a curriculum, and I talked to a vice president of Wells Fargo, uh, down in Littleton, I think, and I wrote a curriculum and taught it for 4 years
Wow.
of that at 30. This is all combined was 30, and
you
then
taught finance, is what you're saying? So you wrote curriculum and you taught
yeah,
finance.
checkbooks and math. They the kids weren't learning enough math in school
So they called
to do the
Vince
sheet
in.
metal, and
That's
so they
crazy.
asked me. I used some of it when we did those kickers on that table that time.
Oh yeah,
The
the
long thing.
support
Yeah,
for it. Yeah,
I did that with math.
that was perfect too. I remember doing that one.
Yeah, it usually is better than my eye.
Yeah, and we
But
cut that hole in the thing too, and it fit perfectly. Yeah.
yeah, it's God really blessed me in opportunities because I went to college for 2 years, and I started out as an engineer, switched to pharmacy, and then that's when I went into the army,
Engineer, engineer for
mechanical engineering,
just mechanical engineer. Need
and
like a list for like a post credit scene at the end of this video for all of the things that you've done. You just keep adding to the list.
yeah,
Mechanical engineer, pharmacy, pharmaceuticals. You went into the military. You
that's
had a
how I
band
ended up
dancing.
being a medic in the army, was because I had time in pharmacy, and I
Mm.
worked in a pharmacy for a while in the army, and then they found a lieutenant to replace me.
I was gonna ask what your position was in the military. So it was a medic.
I was trained as a combat medic, but I ended up at Fitzsimmons in the newborn nursery,
Oh
Hmm.
wow!
and I loved that.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
think I knew that.
Yeah,
Huh.
That is
What does
really
that
cool.
look like?
pardon me.
What does that look like? Like doing all that?
Well, I mainly changed diapers, but I I helped. I was the guy that held the babies when they do spinals on them
Oh, wow.
Mm.
and stuff like that. And they needed a guy to be trained for the emergency childbirth guy for the 147th U.S. Army Hospital,
Mm.
Mobile Hospital or whatever. So I volunteered for that.
Nice.
Helped deliver 7 babies.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Wow, that's really cool. One more area that I think we should hit on before we end is I think we should probably hit on another major thing in your life. Me and you were actually just talking about it before we started, and that's your shooting and guns, and maybe just kind of and it makes sense because when we talk about, I mean, the work your boys ended up going into, you can tell that it was a big part of your guys' life. But maybe just kind of share that because I also know that you're an amazing shooter. In fact, I think you've even told me that there were different titles and stuff that you had received because of your shooting over the years.
Mm.
But if you'd like to just share a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I used to take my kids hunting. When they were 14 years old, I started them going elk hunting with me. And we'd ride those horses in and into a wilderness and stay for a week. And I'd teach them how survival.
Cool. That's cool.
That was great time.
Awesome.
And my son got his first elk when he was 14,
Wow.
the oldest boy, and the youngest. The only thing he shot is deers. But uh, I ended up when they went to the army and stuff, I had more money. So I started shooting competitively. I worked with a guy that did, and
Yeah.
he told me I was nuts. I couldn't do that. And so I did and
So you proved him
started.
wrong.
I had him take me to a match, and people kind of laughed at my gun, but I did all right. And so then I went to another one, a 600-yard long range match, and took my hunting rifle, and I took first for unclassified, but I beat most everybody except the high masters.
Wow.
Wow.
And I thought, well, I love this, so I started shooting competitively and went to the nationals 12 years, won
Mm.
some medals, and then I started having all these knee replacements and hip replacements and everything, and I started shooting pistol,
Hmm.
and I made expert in long range and master in 200 through 600
Wow.
yards.
That's
And
pretty-
then I started the pistol, and I haven't made anything. I haven't shot any competition, but uh, I like working on the security team, and so I got my concealed carry
Hmm.
and helped the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using your skills for the body of Christ. You also have I think a kind of a theme it would be fair to say in your life is that you are almost an expert, if not an expert, in pouring into young men. And what I mean by that is, or the examples like rather that I give about that would be number one, your boys. You just poured into them. Look at the men that they became. Well, then you look at other areas like you poured into folks with dancing. You poured
Mhm.
into people in when you're a professor that they just loved it so much. And I know because you've told me stories about with your shooting. I imagine you probably get cards from some of
I
those
do.
folks
I
too.
do. I helped. Uh, Jim Starr was a guy that been like 15, 20 years ago, and I started helping him out because he needs people to stand behind the kids who was teaching juniors.
Mm.
And it was a government thing back then. They paid for our ammo and our rifles, and there's a civilian, civilian marksman program, CMP, and anyway, uh, I did that, and he passed away, and then uh, another guy took over, and I helped him, and then I kind of me and Earl. Think of his name in a minute. We took the junior program over at Boulder, and I taught there. I don't know how many years. They gave me a life membership uh, because of my work with the kids, and
Wow.
I coached kids at Camp Perry at the Nationals 2 years, and I get cards from them too.
I would say that I think what I'm getting ready to say is fair. You can correct me, but I think you are also very good at teaching these people because if you go back to say, the sheet metal fabrication, like they made a Millennium Falcon, that is amazing, and then you've told me with your shooting how many of your kids went on to go to the nationals and did very, very well. And
Hmm.
and that speaks a lot for not only your teaching but your love and you're pouring into these kiddos. I think that that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's another neat thing that the way I learned to teach was from Jim Andrews. He was a pastor at Riverside Baptist,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and he taught Wednesday night Bible study,
Oh yeah,
and I really liked the way he taught because
yeah,
it helped me,
yeah.
and so I patterned my teaching after him.
Oh, that's really cool.
Wow.
I
And
didn't know that.
he was
That's
a
cool.
teacher at Western Bible,
Oh yeah, that's where Pastor Noah went to
Mm.
college.
so anyway, and you don't do it halfway. You just go all the way and make friends with them, but you still got to maintain the leadership.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a really healthy view of teaching.
And I
Being
got
able
a witness through to some of the kids, and
oh,
some didn't care to listen. I couldn't really preach in sheet metal school. It's
to.
supposed to be teaching sheet metal, and they brought that out because another friend of mine and I we both were teaching at the same time, and he would take the classroom and I'd take the shop, or we'd switch. But we're both Christians, and we started out talking about it a lot.
oh
We
Mhm.
yeah,
were pretty new Christians,
yeah.
and they stopped that.
Hmm.
But the kids knew.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Wow.
God gave me the opportunity to be with Jim Andrews all that time.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you're a good one too. I learned a lot
Praise the
about the
Lord.
Bible. Daniel last night.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That gave me a new insight on standing up in front of people and
Oh yeah.
showing your faith.
Um,
Yeah.
it's definitely a hard thing, but it's definitely one of those things that I think Scripture's pretty clear on that we're going to be men of God. We've got to be willing to go for it and do it. So
I think that's another cool thing about you, Vince, is that stuff that you learn in scripture, you do take to heart.
Yes.
You're not just a hear it Christian, I guess you could say. You don't just hear what people say and you know, then walk away and forget it the next second, especially if they're people that you look up to for like wise counsel, you know, like a pastor or whoever it may be, people that you're looking forward to learn from. You take what they say and you learn from it and you actually apply it to your life and you actually take it to heart. I think that's another really cool thing about you that maybe a lot of people don't know, but now they will.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take any more of your time. I'm sure you got a lot of stuff to do today.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming in and talking with us and letting us get to know you. I appreciate it a lot, taking the time out of your day. But we'll go ahead and close it out here. So thank you all so much for watching this episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
Can wave to that camera over there.